Case study, Adapting to Climate Change, the City of Rotterdam. The global issue of climate change, the research question. What climate change adaptation and mitigation strategies can be implemented by the City of Sydney to reduce the impact of rising sea levels on properties and infrastructure? Global warming is the primary cause of current sea level rises. Rising sea levels exacerbate the effects of high tide and storm surges. The City of Rotterdam is selected for its historic relationship with water and its leading position as an expert in water management. Rotterdam has developed solutions to sea storm surges, heavy rainfall, river flooding, and saltwater intrusion. Rotterdam is a coastal city like Sydney. It's located on a river delta with almost a third of its area consisting of waterways. Both Sydney and Rotterdam are major ports. Rotterdam is Europe's largest port with 400 million tonnes of cargo per year. It's also a cultural and economic centre. Rotterdam is a low-lying city. Major portions of the city are between 4 to 7 metres lower than the sea level, and in 1953, the city faced its worst storm surge and flood disaster. Rotterdam has employed both long-term mitigation strategies in the construction of sea defences and CO2 reduction targets, and in adaptation in spatial planning and urban design innovations. The Maleficent seawall is designed to withstand a sea level rise of 50 centimetres and be in operation for 100 years. Rotterdam has a long-term and ambitious CO2 emissions reduction target of over 50% of CO2 levels in 1990s. The targets are to be achieved by 2025 through a combination of renewable energy, heat capture and recycling, and other initiatives. Another of Rotterdam's climate mitigation strategies is its industrial transition from current reliance on fossil fuels to a biomass economy. Urban adaptation strategies include water squares and plazas that have secondary functions as water reservoirs during periods of heavy precipitation. Multifunctional terrace dikes have secondary purposes that it can be integrated into the public amenity as parks and open space. Green roofs are encouraged and incorporated into urban design and building renewal. Blue roofs for the storage of surface water and underground water storage basins built into car parks are also another example of how adaptive building practices are used. Rotterdam has incorporated both large-scale civic solutions with smaller community actions in its goals of becoming a more climate resilient and waterproof city. In the risk assessment of taking action versus inaction, Rotterdam is driven by necessity. As it's Europe's largest port, with substantial investments into its port infrastructure to drive future economic growth, it has taken the precaution of long-term measures to mitigate the effects of climate change, and these have largely been successful, as is the example of the Delta Seawall project. The benefits are not just economic, but also improve the city to become more climate resilient and providing more amenities to its community. The City of Sydney could learn from Rotterdam in taking a leading role in its region as a source of expertise for other cities facing the effects of climate change and rising sea levels. Rotterdam is a leader in water management and innovation. Its strategy has not only generated new jobs, but improved building codes and created smarter, multifunctional civic designs. Rotterdam's strategy successfully integrates three tiers of government. The long-term planning of the Delta project is an example of how to deal with uncertainty. Its public awareness programs are a success in its encouragement of community participation, and its CO2 emission strategy employs both a transformative approach and smaller iterative measures in reaching a long-term goal. The City of Sydney could learn from the spatial planning experience and urban design innovations from Rotterdam in making its low-lying areas such as Circular Quay and Darling Harbour more climate resilient. Thank you for watching this video on Rotterdam, adapting to climate change.